Okay, picture this. You've got an absolutely crucial job interview tomorrow morning, like the opportunity of a lifetime. But right as your head hits the pillow, you realize something pretty terrifying. Your phone? Completely gone. Digital alarm clocks? Do not exist. You don't have a smartwatch, there's no Alexa sitting on your nightstand, no Google Assistant waiting to help you out, absolutely nothing. If you oversleep, you miss the interview and, well, you lose the job. The stakes literally couldn't be higher.
So, how would you wake up? Just thinking about it probably gives you a little spike of anxiety, right? I mean, the sheer panic of drifting off to sleep, knowing your entire future relies on you somehow magically opening your eyes at exactly 7 a.m.? We are just so conditioned to rely on beeps and buzzes to jolt us out of bed.
It's a crazy contrast. On one side, we've got today, packed with smartphones and smart speakers. And on the other side, thousands of years ago, where there was literally nothing. And while that total lack of tech sounds absolutely impossible to us now, the reality is that for thousands of years, people managed to wake up every single morning without a single alarm clock on their bedside table. And they crush it. They ran empires, they built pyramids, they farmed the land, all without ever setting a digital alarm. So how'd they do it? The answer is actually so much more fascinating than you might think.
Section 1. Waking with the sun. To figure out how our ancestors solved this fundamental human problem, we really have to look at their environment. It was basically a simple equation. When the sun went down, people slept, and when it rose, they woke up. It sounds almost too simple to us now. But remember, they lived in a world completely free of bright electric lights keeping them up late into the night. Nobody was doom-scrolling on a bright screen in bed. Because of that, human sleep naturally matched the simple, reliable cycle of daylight. In many places across the world, that gradual brightening of the sunrise was literally the only alarm anyone ever needed.
But, of course, that brings up a really practical question. What happened when someone actually needed to wake up before sunrise? You know, if you had a specialized job or needed to travel or you had a shift that started in the pitch black.
Section 2. Human alarm clocks.
Okay, this is where history gets incredibly creative, and honestly, kinda hilarious. When the sun just wasn't enough, humans had to invent their own interventions for early mornings. Long before mechanical alarm clocks were sitting in everyone's bedroom, some cities actually hired living, breathing people to wake everyone up. They had a very specific job title. They were known as knocker-uppers, people hired to literally walk through the streets early every single morning to wake folks up for work. Just pause and appreciate the sheer irony of this for a second. Imagine paying your hard-earned money to a person every single morning just so they would stand outside your house and actively annoy you until you were forced to get out of bed.
And they didn't just yell, oh no. They carried these long sticks to tap on second-story bedroom windows. And if the stick wouldn't reach, they got even more creative. Some knocker-uppers actually used hollow pipes to shoot dried peas at upper-floor windows. Just rapid-fire dried peas hitting the glass until you finally woke up. I know it sounds like a literal comedy sketch today, but during the Industrial Revolution, when factory shifts demanded super rigid early schedules, this was completely normal. It was a vital service that kept the whole economy running.
Section 3. Nature's daily schedule. Now obviously, not everyone needed a guy shooting peas at their window. For people living outside those dense, industrialized cities, nature provided plenty of its own loud, impossible-to-ignore alarms. Even in the pitch dark, well before sunrise, the first alarm goes off. The birds start singing. Then, exactly at dawn, you get the classic rural alarm clock. Roosters begin to crow. Finally, moving into the morning, daylight slowly and naturally creeps into the room. Even the farm animals follow these incredibly reliable daily routines. Folks living in these environments just learn to deeply trust nature's schedule. Instead of staring at a clock to check the time, they simply listen to the world waking up around them.
Section 4. The internal biological clock.
But hey, there's another totally fascinating layer to this. Whether you lived in a noisy city or out on a quiet farm, human beings actually possess the ultimate internal solution for waking up. Modern science has revealed something absolutely incredible about our biology. Your brain actually has its own highly advanced internal clock. It's called your circadian rhythm, which allows people sleeping on a consistent schedule to wake up naturally. Your brain is an incredibly advanced piece of biological technology designed to wake you up exactly as it did for our ancestors every single day. When you stick to a routine, your brain actually starts preparing your body to wake up long before your eyes even open.
I am absolutely sure you've experienced this exact phenomenon. You set your alarm for 6:30 a.m., and you suddenly open your eyes, glance over at the clock, and it's 6:28.
Waking up before your alarm isn't luck. It is literally biology. That is your biological clock working exactly as it was designed to. You aren't just randomly guessing the time in your sleep. Your brain has timed its hormone release perfectly to wake you up right when it knows you usually start your day. Our ancestors depended on this exact same biological machinery every single day of their lives.
Section 5. Trusting your own body. Which brings us to a really fascinating realization about how we live today. We have completely shifted our trust. Our ancestors trusted their biology, they trusted their communities, and they trusted the natural world. Today, our modern habits look incredibly different and, honestly, a lot more anxious. Most of us trust our phones far more than our own bodies. We set multiple alarms. One for 6, one for 6:05, maybe 6:15 just in case. We hit the snooze button repeatedly, totally confusing our natural sleep cycles. And we check the time dozens of times before we even sit down for breakfast. We've essentially replaced a natural biological rhythm with a frantic digital one. But for thousands of years, humans relied on the sunrise, the sounds of nature, and that remarkable clock already built inside every single one of us.
So, I want to leave you with this final empowering thought to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. Tomorrow morning, before your digital alarm goes off and jolts you into your day, ask yourself this one question. If alarm clocks had never been invented, would you still wake up on time?